What's up, guys? Bright2J back with an all-new Yay Toys Plus. Today's review is going to be on the Hasbro Lightning Collection White Ranger from Power Rangers. This is the one with the Tommy Oliver head sculpt. So, I was kind of on the fence about buying this, but after watching a couple of reviews, I'm like, okay, there's a lot of positive feedback, and I was like, alright, I'm going to just get it. So, happened to be strolling the city earlier today, and I found this at Target on 34th. It was the last one, and it's shocking, because Target on 34th, I can never find anything. So yeah, saw it, was like, okay, last one, cool, let me go grab it, and here it is. I think the head sculpt for Jason David Frank, according to just looking at it up close, in the box, it looks pretty good. We'll take a closer look when we open the package. Alright, so I'm going to go open that and we'll check this guy out together. And here he is, opened up and out of the box, and I have to say, so far so good. First things first, let's talk about his height. White Ranger stands at about just a little over 6 inches tall. Around the height of your average Marvel Legend, I would think. So I know he's been getting a lot of positive feedback, and I'm like, alright, this is cool. Because I haven't bought a Power Ranger figure since the SHF ones, going back 5 years ago now? 4 or 5? And I'll compare him to the White Ranger that I have from that line. You know what, let me go get that figure real quick, and I'll do it right now. Alright, so here he is next to the SHF one. I mean, obviously, first thing you're going to notice is that he's a lot shorter. Because SHF is meant to be in scale with their own. Where Hasbro, they like to do things to scale and keep it, kind of neutral flowing. Other things you're going to probably notice. The rubberized feel or look to the Hasbro one, and then naturally the harder shell on the figure art one. I feel like the gold is lighter on the figure art one. Yeah, it's really the only difference. Well, that and the pearlescent white on figure art and more of a matted, well, not really matted, but kind of a slightly shinier finish on the Hasbro one. But again, it's, figure art is built for figure art, Hasbro built for Hasbro. So we're going to move him out of the way because we're not reviewing the figure art one. So this is him in all his White Ranger glory, and from what I understand is that he's actually pretty posable. So let's talk about the articulation. His head can go back about that far. Looks down about that far. Side to side movement. A little bit of wiggle because it's on a ball peg. Arms can go out. All the way. He does have an upper bicep swivel. Double jointed elbows. He does have wrist peg, so it does, excuse me, if I start coughing a little bit, forgive me, I'm fighting a cold. So, hinge at the wrist, all the way swivel. From what I understand also is that you can put the arm out all the way, and this doesn't get in the way because of that rubberized feel. I know with the figure art one, I can show you that real quick, is that in order to get the arm up, this was designed where this flaps up. And it didn't have that natural look, Well, he's really tight. For articulation in the torso, he does have an upper diaphragm swivel and a decent ab crunch. He does not have waist articulation. I don't think there's waist articulation, but I think it's only because you have it in the diaphragm. Which is different, but okay. If it is in there, it's probably because mine is really tight, okay? So, it'd be kind of odd for him to not have it. Alright, for the legs, forward, back about that far, typical, you know, Marvel Legends style or Hasbro style figure. Nice split. Upper thigh cut. Beautiful double jointed knees. Top of the boot rotates. Amazing ankle pivot as always. Thank you, Hasbro. The feet can go... Right, yeah, there is a joint there. It can go down all the way and then, you know, up about the same. Yeah, it's, again, minus tight. I'm going to have to use some hot water in a little bit. But decently articulated, I got to say. I'm actually liking this figure a lot more than I thought I would. And as for accessories, so first things first, we're going to go with the alternate head. So pop the helmet off. Like so. And then you got the Tommy Oliver head sculpt. Now, from what I understand, so I've seen images, and I've seen them up close, of the re-release figure art figures with the White Ranger unmasked, and honestly, that head sculpt was not great for a so-called realism, but like, looking at this head sculpt right now, like, Hasbro did a bang-up job, because this is what Jason David Frank looked like way back. When he was in his late 20s, early 30s doing Power Rangers, this was how he looked. Okay? I still remember the reveal of the White Ranger, and, excuse me, like I said, fighting a cold. So, this version, or this head sculpt, is perfect, because I remember my friend and I, we were upstate New York, and on an old black and white TV in the 90s, because that was all they had up there, in that cabin that we were at. Power Rangers debuted the season with the White Ranger, and I remember going, it better be Tommy or I'm done, you know, because Tommy was like, you felt bad when he was not a Power Ranger anymore. And the whole Green Ranger arc was only supposed to be him as the Green Ranger to be the bad one, and then he got so much fan recognition and love that they were like, okay, we need to keep this guy. So, that was that. Now, after rewatching that episode about a year ago or so, it's obviously blatantly obvious that he's going to become the White Ranger. You know, you pick up on like, oh yeah, well... But yeah, I think this looks great. They did a bang-up job on this figure. For hands, so it seems like he comes with a Saba holding hand and a chop, and then his which is shocking that those are the default hands, because every other figure I have are fists. Which he comes with. He comes with a set of fists. And we're going to try to put one in real quick. We're going to remove the chopping hand. Alright. Just got to be careful because these wrist pegs scare me. Let's put the fist in. Actually slid in pretty easy. And because they're on that hinge, you get the same rotation as you would with the other hands. So, looking pretty good. So, the White Ranger, of course, has Saba. And I'm going to compare these two real quick. So, Saba from Figure Art, and I got to fix mine a little bit, but Saba from Figure Art, you know, looked good, and it had a piece that you could take this out and then plug in a longer blade. But to put that into the holster, you had to take it apart, slide it in, put it back together, right? So, looking at this version, and granted, you know, the paint and detail are not as great on a $20 figure, it's still pretty good. It fits this version of Tommy, you know. It fits this White Ranger. And it slides in, I believe, without having to take it apart. So, do that. Yeah. Perfect. You know? And then I think this looks great. I mean, he is probably a really great figure. I'm going to rate this like a 5 out of 5. Hopefully that they decide they want to complete the team, because if this one is this good, I will buy the others and complete the team. Now we can take this out and we can put it in his hand. Let's see. His hand's a little tight. I'm going to do this off camera real quick. Alright, sorry, I had to do it off camera. The hand's really tight. So it takes a minute. As this stays in his hand, it'll loosen up. Or you could also do the hot water trick. And then my newest favorite thing to do is the hot drop method. If you actually subscribe to the toy page, which it's page PAIGE, he has this really neat trick involving a hot cup of water and putting the figure inside an airtight Ziploc, and it does work. So that's really, really cool. And then, you know, the other options are the straight up dunk or the hairdryer method. But, yeah. Now, the final accessory that this figure comes with is this, like, effect part. Looking really cool, translucent plastic. And, it's always hard to find the opening. I think I found it there at the bottom. And you can put Saba through it, like so. And it gives that effect, you know, of like, you know, Saba doing Saba stuff. I don't remember exactly the proper use for this, because it's been quite some time. But yeah, I think this figure is awesome. Like I said, I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5. It is pretty awesome, and that face sculpt alone is really young Jason David Frank. So bravo Hasbro, you guys did a great job. Yeah, all right. Well, this was an unexpected review. I got a bunch of things lined up, so stay tuned for those. If you see this figure in stores, get it. You know, if you're a Power Ranger fan. It's not bad for a $20 figure. I know Forbidden Planet had them, but they're probably a little bit more there because, you know, they're behind the counter or in the box or whatever. But he'll pop up, GameStops and things like that. They have them. Yeah, definitely get them if you're a Power Ranger fan. It's pretty awesome. All right, well, I'm doing all right here. Part of my coughing and cold sounds. But yeah, definitely pick them up. You could find this. I'm gonna wrap up right now, so you know, definitely check me out on social media. You could find me on Twitter and Instagram, both Bry_2J. You could follow the channel Yay Toys Plus on Instagram. It's all one word. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. You know, and I got a lot of cool things coming up. So thank you so much. You could find this video on InnerCityGeeks.com as well as a bunch of other cool stuff, such as the Inner City Geeks podcast, and which is now on Spotify. So that's awesome. All right, well, that's about it for me. I'm gonna go take some cold medicine and relax, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.